Okay. I think my phone like that is fine. And I'm gonna hope that it's fine for the rest of this video.
I guess this sounds like another sad love song.
Hey guys, it's me, Ellie. I haven't recorded a video since August 27th, and it is currently September 16th. So you can do the math, you can add, you can do whatever, but I haven't made a video in a long time. And my hair is a mess. I have these little space buns on my head because my hair is long enough now that I could do something like that. But also, these little like miniature things look like donut holes, and now I'm kind of hungry, but I have Cheez-Its with me. Not sponsored by Cheez-Its because I actually don't like Cheez-Its, but I do like the white cheddar Cheez-Its because that's the only Cheez-Its I like. Or the Grooves Cheez-Its, those are actually pretty good too. And I have apple juice with me, and they should sponsor me because I love apple juice. You're probably wondering why I haven't made a video, and when I mean you, I mean like Jamie and Esmeralda, because they're the only people that watch my videos. But school started last week. School started this week. Last week was the first full week of school, and yeah, that's my only excuse. I just didn't have time for anything. I had a lot of things with squash. I just had a lot of things with homework and everything. But it's Sunday. I didn't go to church today. Jesus, I hope you still love me. I slept in because I forgot to turn on my alarm, so that's all my fault. So I could have gone if I asked Jamie to pick me up, but I didn't ask her to pick me up, and it's too late for that. And it's okay because Jesus still loves me, and I'll be there next week, hopefully. But I'm here now because in one of my first vlogs, I talked about how I wanted to do book reviews after I finished a book. And I have finished a book. I finished a book. Wow. Take a shot every time I say book. Actually, don't take a shot because this is a family-friendly channel and we don't do drugs here, so never mind. But I finished a book called Monday is Coming. Highly stupid. The book is called Monday's Not Coming. It is not called Monday is Coming. So if you looked up Monday is Coming, you're not going to find a book called Monday is Coming. It is called Monday's Not Coming. Literally defeats the whole purpose of the book if it's called Monday is Coming. Like, I'm so stupid. By Tiffany something Jackson. Am I right or am I false? Am I right or am I false? Okay, her name is Tiffany D. Jackson. I've read her book, Monday's Not Coming, which came out in May 22nd, 2018. So it's September, so like a couple of months after. Okay. I'm a whole mess right now. I'm so sorry. This video is going to be like one of the worst, probably, honestly, because I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff running in my head. This is how I plan on doing the book review thingies, my bobbers. So I'm gonna give you the premise, like the blurb, or like what you would just like see online, or like when you first open the book and you read like the little side thing. Like, I'll just give you that. I will then give you a rating out of 10 stars of how I liked it personally, and then depending on why I gave that rating, I'm gonna like say why it got that rating. That made no type of sense. Wow. Like if I gave it like a 6 out of 10 stars, I'm gonna explain why I gave it a 6 out of 10 stars, because like that probably means that there's something that I think could have been improved or something that I wish would have gone differently. But and then this definitely gonna be spoilers, so if you do want to read the book, don't watch this video. If you don't want to read the book, or if you're someone who doesn't read and just want to hear me talk about reading cough cough Esmeralda, then you're in the right place. If you don't like to read and this isn't your forte or your type of video, then feel free to click away, because I don't really care if you watch this or not, because I want to talk about this book and I'm going to talk about this book, and yeah. So, Monday's Not Coming is a book about a girl named Claudia. You're like, oh, wait a minute, what? So the main character, our protagonist here, her name is Claudia. I forgot her last name. It doesn't really matter. She has a best friend named Monday. And I forgot her last name too. Wow. I literally finished this book like 3 days ago. How did I forget all this information? But she has a best friend named Monday, and they've been best friends since like they were 5 years old, and everything. They do like every single little thing together. People think that they're twins. People think that they're like sisters, but they're just really good friends. So on the first day of 8th grade, Monday doesn't show up. She's not there. Claudia's like, what's happening? Like, Monday's always at school. what's going on. So she's like, okay, maybe she was just sick, but then she starts to think like, why hasn't she told me that she's sick? Whatever. So it's the next day and Monday's still not there. The week after that, Monday's still not there. So Claudia's trying to figure out Claudia's trying to figure out where Claudia went. That makes no sense. Claudia is trying to figure out where Monday went. So that's the premise of the whole book. I give this book, let's say 7 out of 10 stars. I'm going to talk about the good things. I'm going to talk about the bad things. I'm just going to talk about like things in between. So the good things, actually, let me think about this. I like the whole idea of the book in the first place. Like when I picked it up at a Barnes & Noble once and I just never got around to reading it. And I picked that up in like June and now it's September. So I read it and it wasn't bad, but it's just there was a lot of things that made it really confusing. The author chose to tell the events of things in like weird timelines. So she had the before, the after, like the after. It was weird and that made things really confusing. But it was basically just like flashbacks with about Claudia's memories with Monday, like her trying to search for Monday, and then like it was like honestly really confusing, and it kind of like took away from the reading experience where I'm trying to figure out like what's happening, where am I in the timeline. The only parts I did get was like the past and her experiences with Monday, so that's why things were just a little bit confusing. I can't say I liked Claudia because okay, so spoiler, this part made no sense to me. I reread it like 3 times, but I just didn't understand it. Apparently, Monday, fun fact, spoiler, Monday has been dead for 2 years. And Claudia apparently has these episodes where she like forgets that Monday's dead, and then she goes on this whole like rampage trying to find her. But it didn't make any sense to me, and I just don't like apparently she's been dead and like everyone knows she's been dead. She's been missing. I don't know. It's been weird, and I just don't like. That just made the whole book a little bit more confusing. There's a lot happening in actually, it's just hard to explain. Okay, I'm gonna take things slowly, one by one. I'm gonna talk about Claudia first. Claudia is apparently you're 14 when you first start 8th grade, and the book ends with her being 16, so it's about like a span of 2 years. But what just made it really confusing is that I didn't know how old she was when she was having her little episode. So that just made it really confusing. I didn't understand that. I feel like if she just removed the whole aspect of like Monday's already been dead and like they actually just find out that Monday's dead, then it would have made it less confusing and it would have been better, because it just left me, I said confusing so many times, but it just honestly left me so confused because I didn't know what was happening. Like that just like ruined the whole experience for me. So I was just like, so like is the past actually the past, or was the past the present? And if you haven't read the book, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, and I just can't find a way to explain it, but that's how I thought of it. So that's that. Monday. Let's talk about the girl named Monday. She comes from an abusive household. Her mother's physically and verbally abusive. So like a big degree, like she like starves her kids, doesn't buy them new clothes, like lets them pee themselves, and like doesn't let them take showers and all that jazz, which is really bad. So Monday has an older sister named April who had to like, take care of them, but the April's struggling too, so it's just like a lot of struggling happening. But I'm not saying that like, I know for a fact that like if that is happening at home, then like maybe your character is different, but I just didn't like the way Monday treated Claudia. And it's hard to have sympathy for a character, especially when they went through like a lot of crap like Monday did, when they're just a terrible character to begin with. Yes, Monday was a great friend to Claudia, but at the same time, I personally felt like that Monday just cared about herself, and Monday had this big whole thing about wanting to be popular and wanting to hang out with like the high school kids, and that was just her jam. But that just bothered me a lot because Claudia wasn't like, this is hard to explain. Claudia didn't really care about being in the spotlight or being popular, all that jazz. She just like, she had Monday, she was okay with it. So she didn't care about all of that. But Monday did. And Monday would pressure Claudia to do certain things, or like, oh, just like call her a wuss or whatever. And let me take a sip because I'm dehydrated. like, this video isn't gonna make any sense. There's just so many thoughts that are running through my head, and it's really hard to explain. But it's just, I don't know how to explain this. I really don't. This is such a bad start to a new series that I want to do, because this book is just like, there's just a lot of things that are happening in the book, and it makes it really hard to explain. But basically, I'm just going to give you the rundown. Monday's mom killed Monday and her younger brother named August, because Monday was like sneaking out and like doing things she wasn't supposed to, and then like her mom wasn't having it, so she killed her daughter, but like also discipline, but it's okay, because whatever. But Claudia thought she knew everything about Monday, and that was the whole, like, you know, the whole cliche where it's like you think you know someone your whole life and then you find out all these like things from people that they've talked to or whatever. That's what was happening. Claudia thought she knew everything about Monday, and that Monday would never lie to her, but then like when she's trying to figure out what happened to her, she finds out that Monday did things that she didn't think she did, or that she lied about doing, and all that jazz. Claudia kind of knew that Monday was being abused, but she didn't really say anything about it because she was a little kid and she didn't fully understand. And every time she would like catch her with scars or like bruises on her body, she would ask what happened, and Monday would give her an excuse like, oh, I fell down the steps, or like, oh, I fell off my bed. And Claudia's a little gullible, so she believed it, but she should have told someone. I didn't not enjoy this book. I did like it. It was a page turner, but at the same time, I felt like it could have just been so much better. I felt like it's okay if you're gonna switch back and forth between between narratives, like if you're gonna go from the past to the future to the present. I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with how she worded it. She said the before, the after. It was just really confusing, and it just made the timeline so like wobbly. I actually finished another book that I'm going to talk about, and maybe that one will be easier to talk about, but this one I just have a problem grasping. I had to write something for it for AP English, because we do these reading responses every time we read. Speaking of reading, I have to read for 40 minutes, but I'll do that in a bit. So I wrote a response to the book, and I think maybe when I talk about the response, and maybe if I read the response, it'll make more sense than all the crap I've just said for like the last 10 minutes. Because I'm literally not making any sense right now. Like literally nothing. Like no sense. So, hi, I'm back. Okay. I found my reading response is about 2 pages long. I'm going to try to read it as fast, but as slow as I can, because I've been told that I'm a fast reader, fast writer, and a fast talker, and a fast texter. I've been told all those things, and it's just, that's how my mind works. It's easier for me to read faster, because if I like actually process what I'm reading, then I trip up a lot. But I'm gonna try my best. It's gonna be fine. So I'm probably gonna repeat things I already said, but I feel like it's gonna help you guys understand the book more. I don't know. Okay, so the book by Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson follows Claudia trying to find out what happened to her best friend Monday. Claudia, who is entering 8th grade, can't do anything without Monday by her side, and now that Monday hasn't shown up to school, Claudia seems to be falling apart, and she tries to figure out what went wrong or any warning signs she might have missed. This book shifts back and forth between the past and the present, so the reader can get a chance to find out what happened along with Claudia. As I read this section and the pages before, it is present that Monday was suffering from child abuse, most likely from her mother. And I used a quote because gotta get that credit. Dang, what happened to your back? Jackson 68. And Monday froze her face tight. She tiptoed back and slowly pecked her mom on the cheek. Jackson 90. Show that Monday is getting abused by her mother, but Claudia doesn't realize it until she's recounting her memories. The first part of the book also shows that Monday and her siblings are getting verbally and physically abused by her mother. Monday's family lives in a run-down neighborhood that everyone is scared to walk in because of how dangerous it is. It places some stereotypes that are said about black people, such as they live in bad neighborhoods and they are extremely dangerous. Some other stereotypes I noticed was that some people question Monday's and her siblings, April, Tuesday, and August, names, making fun of it because they are unusual. A lot of people say that black people have unusual names just because they are new and unique and not common to people who are constantly around their type of people. I personally think that Monday is being abused at home. She hides her frustration and her control over Claudia. Claudia, as I kept reading, seems to do anything Monday wants to do and really rarely thinks on her own. All the ideas that are present in the book are made by Monday, and Claudia just follows them because she feels like she has to follow them. Quote, my best friend wants to go and we are a package deal, end quote. Jackson 70. Claudia takes her friendship with Monday very seriously, and although it is sweet and loyal, I seem to find Monday's ways manipulative, controlling, and demanding. Quote, in italics, you wanted to go to the rec center, end quote. Jackson 91. The fact that the word you is italicized shows that Monday was judging Claudia for wanting to go to the rec center for a Halloween party. Monday was concerned about being cool and being known by the older kids, and even though Claudia didn't care about that, Claudia cared because Monday cared. Quote, Monday's words should know about my problem if I get too close to her, end quote. Jackson 96. Claudia is close to her old English teacher, but the sentence above shows that Monday didn't want her getting close to her because of Claudia's problem, instead of letting Claudia decide on her own if she wants to open up to the teacher. It is also shown in the book that Claudia has a learning disability. Some chapters start off with a letter from Claudia written for Monday, and some of the words are misspelled, such as Halloween and orange. The thing about Claudia's disability is that only Monday knew about it because they did projects together, and Monday always did the work aspect of projects. It is also shown that Monday wanted Claudia to keep her disability under the radar, even though it is pretty serious and she should probably tell someone. This is a whole sentence, wow. Even though I'm not close to being done with the book, it seems to be that Monday was the thinker of the two friends and always made all the decisions, and now that she's gone, Claudia doesn't know how to react, and is anxiously waiting for her to come back so she can get her life in order again instead of having to learning to think on her own and come up with her own decisions and live life the way she wants instead of the life Monday wanted to live for her. That was my response to I read pages 64 to 108, and that was my response for just that small section of the book. So that's my main problem, and this video is bad. It's bad. It's really bad, but because my thoughts are just jumbling all over the place, but that's the best way I can describe what happened in this book. But I'm not saying to not read it because it's really important. It talks about abuse, it talks about kidnappings and all that, and parents killing their old children, and talked about Claudia's dyslexia. So if you do, I'm not saying not to read it, but I am just saying that those are the problems. And that's why it made it really hard for me to sympathize with Monday when she's going through all this abuse, because I just hated her character. It was just so bad. And I know it's probably because she was acting out because she didn't have any control at home, so that's why she felt like she had control over Claudia. But it's just, I don't know. Personally, I just didn't like it. I think for the next time I do a video like this, I'm actually just gonna write out, this hair is bothering me. I think I'm actually just gonna write out a response, kind of like what I did for my school assignment, but I'm gonna write a response based on the whole book, spoilers included, just what I thought, my things that were happening, my thoughts that were happening. Because if I just read instead of me just free thinking, as you can see, it clearly worked better than the whole first 13 minutes of the video where I'm just not talking about anything. And I've considered deleting that, but I just left it in because I did say some things that I didn't say in the reading response. But I think I'm just gonna write a reading response every time I finish a book, and then I'll just read the reading response for you guys instead of me just trying to figure out my thoughts right there in the moment. But yeah, that's the end of my video. I hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. I'm so sorry if you sat through this whole thing because this was honestly such a bad video, but I will see you in the next one. So bye.
They are burning. Lover, I am worth.